I want to talk about a little thing that happened to me yesterday while I was in San Saba. I needed to go into town to make a deposit to my bank account, depositing a couple of checks, and go to the grocery store at about the same time. So I did so. While shopping, I saw a man and his wife shopping there alongside me. Had a big basket full of groceries. They both had yellow T-shirts on with an inscription on the T-shirt saying something to the effect, such and such disaster relief. Well, I immediately put two and two together there and figured that they probably were some sort of a group of volunteers that were helping out with the disaster relief. I thought maybe in the Texas Hill Country. And in San Saba, they had a little bit of minor flooding, I guess you'd say, in San Saba. So they probably were really there for San Saba. But anyway, I saw them and I went on about my business. I'm been very affected by the tragedy there on the Guadalupe River. I just can't imagine those little girls in the middle of the night, that wall of water coming down, all the chaos, the confusion, no doubt the little screams and hollering and going on, just terrible. I can't imagine it. And the mamas and daddies that have lost the little children, and the grown-ups as well, of course. So I get pretty emotional when I think about that. And so that just hit me when I saw those people shopping. So I turned my little scooter around that I was riding on there. I said, motion for him to come over. And so the man did. And he came over and I got pretty emotional and I had a hard time getting it out. But I said, I just want you to know that I want to say to you, God bless you for what you're doing. Well, he said, thank you, and God bless you. And I told him about how deeply I felt and was grieved about that terrible thing. So anyway, that was about the end of that. So I went on about my shopping, and when I left to come back home, I had earlier noticed in the local Baptist church here, First Baptist Church in San Saba, had a little canopy thing set up in a trailer there, and I saw some people under the canopy, same T-shirts. And it looked like they had some literature there on some tables. And I said, well, that's the same folks. And so I pulled in there, and I felt like they probably were accepting donations, whatever. So as I pulled in there and rolled down my window, well, several of them came towards me there. Skippy was with me there in my lap. No, they just took on about Skippy, how cute he was and whatever. And I told them what I wanted to do. I wanted to give them a little donation. So one gentleman said, well, you'll have to go over to behind the church there is where they're doing that. We're here just for something else. And about that time, another gentleman got up from one of the chairs under the canopy, and he walked over to me. He had chaplain written on his shirt. And he says, well, you can just give that to me. So-and-so thought I was over there, but I'm here. He didn't realize that, so I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm here. So go ahead, and if you want to have a donation, well, just give it to me. And so I did, and I began to tell them how touched I was about all this, and I got emotional again, and they did too a little bit as well. And one of the gentlemen said, "Can we pray for you?" And I said, "Well, certainly." So the chaplain and the other gentleman, lady, and maybe a couple of others, and I all held hands, as is typical when people of faith pray. And so the gentleman gave the prayer, and I had my eyes closed. I guess everybody has their eyes closed when they're praying, so I didn't see anything, and I don't assume anybody else did either. So the young fella went ahead and had his prayer, 30, 45 seconds, something like that. And then when we all opened up our eyes, and the chaplain said, "You've got a good dog there, you know." I said, "Oh, yeah, I know. I got a good puppy dog." He says, "When we began to pray, he put his paw on my hand, just like the rest of us." And he says, "You've got a good dog there. Got a good religious dog there." So I thought that was pretty neat. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. Okay.